I purchased Ori and the Blind Forest when it first came out, but I never came around to playing it until now. I knew from the beginning that this game would break my heart, and that it did. What I didn't expect was how beautifully and how magically it would build me up stronger than I ever was before. I'm a big animal lover. Coming across a stray cat or dog is the worst. I hate to see them alone, scared and hungry. I usually carry canned pet food in my car just in case I see any. So when I first started playing Ori and the Blind Forest, it struck a blow right in the pit of my heart with no remorse. Ori, lost and alone, is found. Found, nurtured, and cared for by this silent sloth-type creature. It becomes his guardian. He plays with him. He teaches him how to gather food and watches over Ori every day. You can feel the bond growing between them as each day goes by. Then one fateful evening, the great tree where Ori was from calls out to Ori for help, a plea that is misunderstood and, as a result, ignored. The once bountiful forest starts to slowly wither away, and taking with it the very food that both the guardian and Ori depend on. Anybody who has ever had to choose between paying the water bill and paying the electricity bill understand how it feels being pinned into a corner. When having to choose between feeding yourself or feeding your kid, the answer is clear. Like I said, from the beginning I could tell this game would break my heart. It all seemed too familiar. With no reason for Ori to stay behind, he sets forth on his journey to find a new beginning, eventually discovering his part he's meant to play. At first, your skills are minimal, just powerful enough to get you by. Eventually, you improve your traits and abilities by collecting special orbs, and as you unlock part of the map, you'll also come across memorials that unlock special powers. The journey won't be easy. The enemies can be tough at first, and the terrain is unforgiving. You'll die, and you'll die again. But with each ability orb absorbed, and with each power unlocked, you'll start to gain confidence in your abilities. Using your new abilities and powers can grant you access to parts of the map that were previously not reachable. If you're a fan of games like Metroid, then you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. But you don't need to backtrack if you're not interested. But when you do, it reminds you of how far you've gone and how much you have grown since you last left the side of your guardian. No longer are you weak, feeble, and scared. You are strong, quick, and capable. Lots of kids, including myself, that come from broken homes can grow up with a wide range of psychological issues. The most common one is growing up always being afraid, mostly of the unknown. If left unaddressed, it can really affect your life well into adulthood. When I first encountered Ori, alone and scared, I understood his pain. As he got better, stronger, I realized how far I've gone in my own journey. A few years ago, I found one cat, and now I have 4, and no longer am I afraid. Ori and the Blind Forest reminded me of how magical games can be. The visuals can take you to places you've never been before. The Blind Forest is definitely beautiful beyond belief. The graphics flow like water across your screen. Sometimes it's the music that can drift you away and take you back to a special place. Ori and the Blind Forest has it all. The gameplay will keep you engaged, and the story is definitely worth reaching the end, especially if you're interested in the sequel that was announced. And by now, you already know that for me, Ori and the Blind Forest did a little more than just entertain me. I'm leaving this game with a mended heart. I'm leaving this game a better version of myself. And to think, I almost skipped this one. After the success of games like Rocket League and Fortnite, there's no denying that cross-platform multiplayer is the future. But why is Sony resisting? Anybody who has both a Switch and an Xbox One can right now take advantage of multiplayer crossplay between titles like Rocket League and Fortnite. At first, it doesn't seem like such a big deal until you try it. The obvious advantage is being able to play online against your friends no matter what system they have. Right now I have a bunch of friends who play only on PlayStation. I prefer to play on Xbox. In order to play with them, I would have to spend at least $300 for the console, plus the cost of the title. So Sony's refusal to play nice is not very consumer friendly. Sony fanboys even going so far as saying that they prefer to only play with gamers on PlayStation Network. They don't want to play with gamers from Xbox Live and Switch. But what these Sony fanboys fail to understand is, it's not just about playing with gamers across all platforms. The benefits are much more substantial. So what's the big deal? We never had cross-platform multiplayer games before, and we haven't seemed to have a problem. I started playing Fortnite casually a few months ago on Xbox. I wasn't really good at it, but it was fun enough to pick up and play every so often. They seem to release cool content regularly, it keeps the game fresh, and it's free. So when Fortnite was released on the Switch, I decided to download it just to check it out. I didn't see myself playing it much, but I figured I would give it a shot. I'm so glad I did. See, with the free game to play like Fortnite, I don't have to buy the game for both consoles, or any console for that matter. Any cosmetic items that I chose to buy on Xbox were automatically on my Switch profile because they share the same Epic account. Not the case with Sony. All your content is locked. Again, not very consumer friendly. So essentially it feels like my Switch is more than just a Switch. With titles like Rocket League and Fortnite, it feels like my Switch is an extension of my Xbox. Essentially, I have a portable Xbox. Whenever I'm scheduled early to go to work because of traffic, I always arrive about 30 minutes early. Lately, I've been playing Fortnite against online friends. In moments like this, my Xbox and Switch blend as one. That is what Sony-only gamers are missing. That's what they don't understand. They can't until they try it. For now, Sony seems to be holding strong against crossplay, for reasons why I'll never understand. Maybe they're used to their old ways. Maybe they feel comfortable enough with their lead that they figure they can just ride out the bad publicity. But with more and more game devs coming forward with stories on how Sony won't play nice, it's hard to see stubborn Sony holding out for much longer. Playing Fortnite cross-platform has opened up exciting possibilities. I don't expect all cross-platform games to be free, but just being able to have the option to play my favorite online game on the go is nothing but a win-win scenario. It's good for the console maker, it's good for the game makers, it's good for the gamers. Why Sony doesn't want to win? It's beyond me. I guess they're good. Today's LEGO build will be Star Wars Kylo Ren, Series 2, number 26, 130 pieces. I've always been a fan of Legos, but growing up working class, Legos were just a little too expensive. They're still expensive. But now, I'm a grown-up, and I made the executive decision to finally buy one. So this is officially my first Lego set. Now, don't get me wrong, I didn't have to play with rocks and sticks growing up. I just had to prioritize when it came to my toys. And I chose video games, but I've always had a fondness for Legos. I plan on collecting more Lego sets, and I will continue to open and build them here for you to see if you're interested. Right now, I'm concentrating on the Star Wars series. Eventually, I plan to move on to bigger sets. I'm still working on the series format and the type of commentary for these videos. The commentary will be inspired by the Lego set. Since today we're building Kylo Ren, let me tell you a short story on how his birth was foretold. Sort of. First off, I'm not a keeper of the squirrels. I'm just a casual fan that enjoys the movies. I don't pretend to know all the canon, I just enjoy it. On the planet of Lothal, there is a Jedi temple. The Lothal Jedi Temple was an ancient and megalithic structure established and maintained by the Jedi Order. It became a place Jedi Masters would take their Padawans to determine their readiness to become a Jedi. In the Jedi Temple, behind the ancient painting of the Mortis gods, there is a collection of pathways and doors between time and space, otherwise known as the World Between Worlds. Uncovered by the Empire, the Emperor sought entrance. Having access will grant Palpatine unimaginable powers. However, Padawan Ezra Bridger found the key to unlocking the World Between Worlds first. There is where Ezra hears Kylo Ren speak several years before his birth. While walking between the World Between Worlds, Ezra hears voices from the past, voices including those of Qui-Gon Jinn, Anakin Skywalker, and Yoda. He also hears voices of the future, voices of Princess Leia, Finn, Rey, and Kylo Ren.
Show me again the power of the darkness, and I will let nothing stand in our way. Show me, grandfather, and I will finish what you started.
Ultimately, Jedi Ezra would thwart Palpatine's plans, sealing the gateway to the World Between Worlds, denying the Emperor access to the mystical realm. And by now, we all know what became of Ben Solo. Twisted by Snoke and failed by Master Luke, he became Kylo Ren, Jedi killer, leader of the Knights of Ren, a tortured soul being ripped apart between the light and dark side, eventually giving in to his hate and lust for power, eventually becoming Supreme Leader. But hope is not lost. So that's just a sneak peek into the new LEGO series. It's still a work in progress and most likely will change, but stay tuned.